This is the inside of the 2008 Auto Sleeper Nuevo. If we firstly move to the main control panel, you'll see that it's currently displaying the time and the date, and we can also check on the level button here whether or not the motorhome is level. To turn the 12 volt on, just press here, and you'll then see next to it we have charge and hab. So at the moment we are charging the habitation battery from the main supply. If I now press this, we can flip over and actually charge the vehicle from the main supply. Whichever battery is highlighted on here is also the battery you are using to run the back of the motorhome. We then have water pump just here. So when it's highlighted in black, you'll see that the water pump is then on. And we need the water pump on to be able to get water out of the taps, fill the boiler if it's been drained down. Next we have awning light on and off. And if I now press anywhere on the screen, we can then go into the settings menu. So within this we have condition of habitation battery, condition of the vehicle battery, how much of a drain it is on the actual battery that you're using, internal temperature, external temperature, how much water is in the fresh tank. We can also turn off the front and rear lights on here. They can also be turned on and off on their own switches. We then have whether or not we want to alter how loud the beeps are on the actual control panel. Clock set here, and then we also have setup in here. So for the extra key fob that you can use to control the awning light and the main entrance lights, if that fob was to get lost, you can purchase other ones and sync them up to it. Leave these two alone, the manual start and the water pump. If you turn the water pump off here, you will not be able to access it from the main control screen. And then we can then just return back out again. Above it, we have the controls for the heating. So this control here controls the electric element in the fire just here. So at the moment you'll see it's set in the off position. If I flick it up, I can run the heating on mains electricity using 2 kilowatts. If we turn it back to off again, we can run it on a low 500 watts or 1 kilowatt. So this is just really dependent on the ampage of the site you're on to try and avoid you from tripping. We control the temperature on the inner dial here. The fire itself, if you're going to use it on gas, just come to this dial here and turn it. You should then be able to hear the igniter ticking away, and then just push down, and then once you can no longer hear the ticking, that's a good indication it's lit, and then just let go. You should be able to hear it whoosh into life as well, but you can also check for the pilot light. Control the temperature just on the dial here, and then regardless whether you are using main supply or gas, this dial here controls the circulation fan that will blow the air out of the air ducts around the motorhome. So we're off at the moment. If I now flick it to the left, I'll turn the fan on, and then we control the fan speed just here. A will not work on this particular model. You do have to have another thermostat fitted inside the van that would then allow it to turn on and off. If you ever turn here to light it on gas and you can't hear it ticking, it may just be that the battery needs replacing, and the battery for the igniter is located at the base of the unit. So basically just here where my finger is, there is an AA battery just there. Just above the fire we have this dial here, and this is for hot water on gas. So if you're going to heat your hot water on gas, you firstly need to make sure that the flue cover is removed on the outside, and then you'll see again we have an outer dial and an inner dial. To light it, just flick the outer dial down to the flame and the boiler will automatically light itself. You'll see a little green light comes on, and then you can control the temperature of the water from anywhere from a low 30 to a very hot 70. If it fails to light, a red light will pop up in the window to let you know. If you want hot water on main supply, you just need to come to the wardrobe itself, and you'll see you have two switches at the back here. The bottom one here is for hot water. So for hot water on mains, just literally flick it down like so, and it will commence heating the boiler up. This will heat the water to about 60 degrees. Make sure that it is switched off when the boiler is drained down, or you do run the risk of burning the element out. You'll see a switch above, which is for the electric element in the fire itself. So if this one's turned off here, and then you try to turn the heating on up here, you will see that the green light does not come on as the isolator switch in the wardrobe has been turned off. So really, if you want, this switch here can stay on all the time, it's no problem, but we just need to make sure that we're turning this one on and off for the hot water. Also in here you'll find gas isolation taps for the cooker, fridge, heating and hot water. They are all in the on position, and I do say they can stay like that. They are more for maintenance. If you smell gas in the van, go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. Also in here, if we now just remove the cover and then slide the drawer out, you'll see that we have the trip switches just here. So we have the 3 individual MCBs, the main RCD and test button just there. So if anything's not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped at this point here. We then also have just down here the battery charger. So battery charger on and off on the top here, and then integrated into it we have all the 12-volt fuses as well. So again, if something's not working on 12 volt, just come to check to see whether or not you've blown a fuse. We can also see the top of the Truma boiler just here, and the water pump just here, and then obviously we also have the back of the fire as well. Freestanding table also located in here, as well as the television aerial. To operate the television aerial, just loosen the collar off and then push the mast up. You'll see that you have the actual digital amplifier just here for it, and this particular one actually has a signal finder in it, so it makes it nice and easy. When you've got a nice solid green light, you know you've got a nice strong signal. Lock it into place and then come to your TV and tune it in. You will see, if I just turn it slightly, that you have this green window just here. This represents the back of the aerial itself, so that way you know which way it's pointing. But you'll also see it says H for horizontal. So the aerial is sitting flat like this at the moment. If you turn the tail, you can actually flip it to vertical if you do need to do any more additional tuning. Always make sure that the aerial is down for travel. This motorhome has already been fitted with a TV, so it behaves like most TVs, apart from that it is running on 12 volt. So if I now just turn it on, So you'll see at the moment that it's slightly scrambled because I haven't retuned it in, and to retune it in all we need to do is literally press the menu button and then use your arrow keys to then find auto scan and hit OK, and then it will then commence to retune itself back in again. You will need to do this every time you change location. You'll see also that we have a main socket here as well, another one here, and then you can see the 12 volt and the aerial going in from that point there. We have the cooker at the rear. We have the electric hot plate that will work on main supply, and it operates just here. Everything else is gas, and it's just push in, twist and push the igniter. Beneath the hob we then have the grill, and again just push in, twist and push the igniter. And then the oven. Beneath the oven we have storage, but you'll also find that there is a switch just tucked right at the back there, and that's just the isolator for the electric hot plate. The fridge operates just here, and you'll see at the moment that we are in the off position. If I want to run the fridge on gas, just click across and you'll see a light come on. As long as it's a solid amber light, you know it's lit. It will basically flash until it is lit, and if it fails to light, it will just constantly flash. After that we have main supply, and then lastly we have 12 volt maintain just here, and this will illuminate in red when we start the engine, and this will keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. Temperature control just here. And then we have the travel catch just here. If I now come to the bench seat just here and we lift up, we have the leisure battery just underneath the cover just here. And then we also have the drain for the boiler itself. So to drain the boiler down for winterization, firstly make sure the water pump has been turned off, and then come to this lever and flick it up like so. This will then drain the water out of the boiler. To refill it, make sure it's flapped over like it is now, fill up the fresh water tank, turn the water pump on, and then it will start to reprime the boiler. I always suggest that when you are fully draining down for winter, that you also open up all the taps in the motorhome, because this will help any airlocks in the system drain off. So when it comes to refilling it back up again, close the taps, turn the water pump on, let it run for a few minutes, then begin opening your taps. They'll cough, they'll splutter, wait until they're running freely on hot and cold, and then reclose, and then the system will then reprime itself. On the opposite side, you'll see we just have storage. You can see that's the jack and wheel brace just there. with this particular model you can either have 2 single beds or a double. If you're going to use them as singles, you do need to make sure that the seats are rotated round like this. To rotate the seat, it is done by pulling the lever just here to release it. Then push down on the lever just here and then pull towards you. It will basically move once and then it will then lock so it can't come out any further, and that is kind of what I class as the single bed point. I always then just drop the backrest into the gap itself, and then all you're then doing is just adjusting the seat to the position that you require, and then you then have a long enough single bed. And obviously you can then do that for the driver's seat as well. If you're going to use it as a double, it's extremely easy. It's just a matter of pulling both levers and then making them then meet in the middle, and then as you can see you have a very good size double bed. The washroom has the toilet just here, open to the cassette on the grey lever just here, and push to flush on the top just here. To close to the cassette again, slide back. Do make sure that this is in the closed position when trying to remove the cassette from the outside, or otherwise it will not come out. So if you feel resistance, just make sure nobody's left it open. Level indicator just here to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. Basin just here, and then we have the shower just here. To make the shower cubicle, pull the swing wall over like so, and then you'll then see that we then have the other part just here clipped in the 2 places, and then it can then fold over like so. Always make sure that everything is then fully re-clipped back for travel.